Okay, I want to do a devotion from Psalms 31:24. Be strong and let your heart take courage, all you who hope in the Lord. Another work of the Holy Spirit is to keep our eyes clearly focused on God and the good things He has for us, while learning to live in and embrace the fallen and broken world. In essence, hope. This walk of faith is not for the faint of heart. It takes courage and strength to believe in who God says He is when we see and experience pain and suffering. Our cowardly heart is looking for an excuse to cut and run, to declare God the loser and get as much as we can before it collapses around us. Cowardice is willful, a choice made to not believe that God is big enough and good enough to bring good out of this mess we have made. The fruit of not working with the Holy Spirit is a fatalistic and cynical view of the world. We become pessimistic and develop a passive approach to all we view. It's a wait and see, don't get involved, my choice doesn't matter attitude at work in us. The two extremes of walking in this tension are to live in denial and pretend that I am not in pain and everything is good, or to focus on the pain and let it define all of life. The Holy Spirit walks with us, encourages us with the mind of Christ, and then empowers us to see that He, God, is active in the moment, that He is with me right now, right here, no matter what I am walking through. Hope then reminds me that there is a seed of greatness in this moment, for it will bear glorious fruit in the future. My goal is to lean into the Holy Spirit and trust God to be who He says He is. It's in the midst of the COVID-19 lockdown. And there's a lot of talk about fear. To be honest, sometimes I get tired of people saying, fear not, fear not. It's like they stand and talk at you, really kind of talk down to you, as if fear is a degrading aspect of life. I'm going to take a little bit different point of view. Fear is an opportunity for courage to arise. Fear is not something that goes away. Spirituality is not marked by the absence of fear. That's just not real. The reason God says fear not so many times, He's not saying don't fear in the sense of as if we had control over fear and true spirituality blocks it out. What He's saying is don't let fear define your life. Don't let that rising up of our finite or of our brokenness or of whatever it is, view that is going on, let it twist and distort your view. Courage, faith in courage, faith in God, but this courage in our faith rises up and we see the fear, we acknowledge it, we define it, we say, I am afraid of this. And then in light of that fear and the reality of what we're doing, we go back to God and we say, okay, God, who are you in light of this? And I like that line. Am I allowed to like a line in my own devotion? Hope then reminds me that there is a seed of greatness in this moment. And I look to God and I say, okay, God, I'm not going to go into reaction mode. I'm not going to go into just that default stimulus response. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to own it. And I'm going to bring you into it, encourage and say, now, God, who are you in light of this? Who are you in your greatness, power available? Who are you in your character, the attributes that you've made so clear through the thousands of years of telling us your story? And when I do that, something arises, this moment where I think, okay, if God has allowed this, then there's got to be something in this that He wants to do. And how do I look for Him, lean into Him, trust Him? And at that moment of turning from cynicism or pessimism or hopelessness or as Scott Peck would say, militant ignorance, That's that unbelief moment. I will not believe. I turn and I say, okay, God, who do I know you to be? Who do I know that you are? And when I'm reminded of who you are, hope rises, because you're not going to allow anything in my life that you don't have a greater ability to bring good out of. And in light of that, hope is born. I trust you find hope today in the life of God through faith in our midst.